The next two topics we're going to look at are zero exponents and negative exponents. We start with zero exponents. And zero exponents are actually relatively easy because anytime you take any base to the zero power, you get 1. It doesn't make a difference what number you're talking about. You're still going to get 1. What variable you're talking about, whatever your base is, all you're focused on is the exponent of 0. So in that first example, I have x to the 0 power and y to the third. Well, x to the 0 power is 1, so this is basically just 1y to the third or y to the third. The next one has a bunch of stuff inside parentheses, but it's all to the 0 power. So this whole thing makes no difference because I have an exponent of 0, which gives me an answer of 1. The next question has tons of stuff on top. 5, x to the third, y squared, z to the 8th. Tons of stuff on bottom. 8, x to the third, y to the 10th, z to the 0. I could go ahead and I can simplify this using all our division and multiplication rules and all, but the fact that I have a 0 for an exponent, the entire base makes no difference. All I'm focusing on is that 0 for the exponent. Well, now we'll look at negative exponents. And negative exponents, the way it kind of works with that, whatever side of the fraction bar it's on, if it's on the top of the fraction bar and it's negative, on the bottom it will be positive. So if I have a situation like number 1, I have x to the negative third power. Well, x to the negative third power is the same as x to the negative third over 1. Well, the answer to this then would be this guy, because he's negative on top, has to come down to the bottom. And my answer ends up being 1 over x to the third power. In our second example, I have more terms. Pay attention to all your terms. You have 3 terms here, a 5, an x, and a y. The 5 has an understood exponent of a 1. The 1's positive, so the 5 is going to stay on the top. The 4 is positive, so the y to the 4th is going to stay on the top. Because this has a negative exponent, it has to come down to the bottom of your fraction bar, which simplifies it and makes it positive. Example number 6, I have 2x y to the negative third. So it's a very similar question. Very easy to try and move the 2 or the x in this case, but remember, they have understood exponents of 1, so they're positive. Positive exponents are perfectly okay. It's the negative exponent that I have to move. If I look at my final example, I have a number of terms, but I only have one of those terms that's a negative. The y has a positive exponent, it stays put. The a and the b both have positive exponents, they stay put. The only term that has to move because it's negative is this x to the negative 4th, which becomes x to the positive 4th on the bottom of the fraction. And the same thing's true if it's at the bottom. If it's at the bottom and it's negative, it becomes positive when it moves up. And now I have a simplified answer because in my final answer, I do not want negative exponents because they do not make any sense outside of scientific notation. So we do not want any negative exponents.